This is a video specific for this practicum module 2. So you've completed practicum module 1, which was 5 hours worth of work. This one is 10 hours. And what I think you're going to include within those 10 hours is your journal of the information. There are very specific questions that you're going to reflect on. There's some time for you to begin thinking about a quality improvement, workforce safety, or patient safety initiative that you can work on during this course. It doesn't mean that you're going to implement the initiative. It means that you're going to use different tools, especially from the Institute of Healthcare Improvement. And the best way to really experience the use of these tools is to have an initiative that you're working on. So it's application is what I'm looking for, not necessarily an initiative that you're going to implement and then evaluate. But how would you go about doing an initiative at your place of employment? So this module is giving you some tools, some information. It's giving us some time to think about a possible initiative. And then in the third module, we're going to begin to work on a specific initiative using the model for improvement. So let's move along and see what's in module 2. So completion of module 2, if you click on here, you're going to see the different elements that I'm going to go over right now. So first of all, you're going to go to the Leapfrog Safety site, and I want you to look at some different hospitals. So I'm going to change this to Buffalo, New York, and you're going to search the site. So wherever you reside, wherever you work, wherever you and your family would receive health care in an acute care facility, that's what I'm asking you to look for. So my family lives in Buffalo, New York. So I'm going to look at the hospital's grade for those hospitals in Buffalo. And I'm not seeing really high grades here. Buffalo Medical, Buff General, Sisters of Charity, which is one of the Catholic Health System hospitals, Erie County Medical Center, but we can see Mercy Hospital of Buffalo has an A grade, so you can see the grades, right? Kenmore Mercy, so we can go Millard Suburban. So these are spring grades. So let's look back at Buff General. You can view the full score. This is what I want you to look at. And you can see what elements they are assessing. So let's look at safety problems. Very easy to see that for safety problems, this hospital for harmful events is doing worse than average. Pressure ulcers, worse than average. Falls and injuries, worse than average. Collapsed lung, average. Air or gas bubble in the blood, higher than average. So you can go through each one of these and look at hospitals perform. Please know that Leapfrog is for the general public to look at results of hospitals and how they are performing. So I'm asking you to go through here. You can look further in detail about a few things, but that's what I first want you to both notice that, yes, Leapfrog gives a safety grade for where you work or live for the hospitals. Next, we're going to a very important part, and this is the Institute of Healthcare Improvement, the model for improvement. So for this course, we're looking at the model of improvement as a framework to guide the initiative that we will be working on. So we're going to be applying improvement science. And so the best way to read through this is to first look at the the 3 questions that this model asks us. Number 1, what is our aim? What is our goal? What are we trying to accomplish? They call it the aim. How will we know that a change is an improvement? That's called the measure. How are we going to plan to measure this aim, what we're trying to accomplish, and how do we even know that's an improvement? And then the third thing is, what change can we make that will result in improvement? That's our initiative, and that's called the change. So the aim, the measures, the change. And it's the PDSA. It's the Plan, Do, Study, Act model. So so you can see here, you can read through this information. It's important. And then if you don't necessarily go through each and everything, you're going to need to at some point as you start planning for an initiative. Setting your aims, you can look at that information. What about the measures? Remember, how are we going to know that a change is an improvement? That's the measures. So we are going to use different tools, but this is going to be the first one that is really important for us to look at, is the model for improvement. And to help us even further, there's 2 good videos. This is the first one, so you see I've just scrolled down a bit. This is the first one, Science of Improvement on a Whiteboard, real easy to watch and understand. And then the second one is here, Deming's System of Profound Knowledge. And there are other ones, but this is, once you watch the second one, I think it clicks on to others. But these are the only 2 I'm asking you to watch this week, this module. So then you're going to workforce safety is key to patient safety, so that's going to be an article you're going to look at. This editorial is done in 2022, but it shows how adverse events are not improving. And you can see, even if you only read the first couple of paragraphs, you're going to get pretty much the essential content. Now, along with the IHI model for improvement, we're going to be using a lot of IHI tools. There's also a folder of information from Rose Sherman that I really found most recently very helpful. It's called the 30-Day Design Sprint Charter. And I think with our summer course being a true sprint, this might be very helpful to you. First of all, it's Rose Sherman's blog that she introduces this topic, because she says we have Gen Z nurses that are ghosting our unit councils. How can we change things? And then you're going to see the infographic that starts that article, but I have it a little bit clearer. And then there is one more document that will help you use this 30-day nursing design sprint charter. So I'm not going to explain any further than that. You have to read through it. But then here's your Dropbox for once you complete your journal. So here's your journal. And you can download that by clicking on the 3 dots. It'll download, and then you can complete it. So what is your journal asking of you is how many hours that you spent. I would imagine you're going to put in 10, your name. What did you think about these resources? Do you believe you can use them or apply them to your project, even if you don't know what your initiative, your project is yet? Do you think these will be helpful? You have to do a quality improvement or a patient safety or workforce safety initiative. So then I want you to answer these questions. If you work in a hospital, what initiatives are currently in place, especially on the unit that you work? But if you don't, if you want to talk about another unit in the hospital or overall, all the units, please go ahead. If you do not work in an acute care facility and you're working outside, then complete number 2. What are the workforce safety, patient safety, or quality improvement initiatives at your place of employment? Maybe you're working in long-term care or home care or as a school nurse or as a nurse educator. So please answer that. And then collaborate with your colleagues. Or maybe even your classmates. Contact each other and be your classmates' colleague to brainstorm about quality improvement changes that could be initiated and tested that maybe will improve upon the safety of patient care, teamwork, communication, safety of the workforce, such as both mental and physical health, safety, psychological safety. Another area that would impact on workforce or maybe student well-being. Be creative considering where you work. We have students in both, as we know, two different programs. So be creative. It's not all acute care facilities. And what are the results of your brainstorming session? List any questions that came up during this module and how you answered these questions. If you have questions that you don't know how to answer, give me a call. Send me an email. And then reflect on your experience. So by the time you're done reviewing the documents, thinking, lots of time spent thinking, right? And reflecting on the materials, I'm sure you will have completed 10 hours for this module. And thanks for listening and have a good practical module.